We are going to be reviewing episode 6 through 10 of LEGO Ninjago Dragons Rising. Yeah. Alright, so if you guys watched my first review, you guys know that I was not necessarily, how do I put it, like, I want to be as positive as I can. I want to give this show a chance, but the show itself is a little off. That was that was the best way I could say it nicely. Like I don't straight up hate the show or anything like that, but I'm a hard Ninjago critic, and I'm pretty sure that 90% of the Ninjago community disagrees with me when it comes to this new show. That is perfectly fine. What can I say about the later half of this first part of the season? Actually, surprisingly, I actually think it was better than the first 5 episodes. I actually preferred these 5 episodes because these 5 episodes actually got down into what I consider the actual story of what this show is going to end up being. Do I still have a couple of issues? Oh boy, yes, I do have a couple of issues. At the same time, I actually much more enjoyed this half of the season than I did the first part of it. Or I shouldn't even say half, I should say quarter, because we are going to get more episodes to this first season of Dragons Rising. But with that said, I am going to get into it, and honestly, watching the show, when you're actually watching the show, it doesn't sound too bad, you kind of just go with it. But when you say it out loud, it really sounds ridiculous. It really sounds ridiculous. But something that I did like about this, that the show kind of started doing at least, was it went back to the roots of Ninjago. What I mean by that is, originally, Ninjago, and I have actually been with a couple friends of mine, been going back and watching the first couple of seasons of Ninjago. And originally, something that I really enjoyed about Ninjago is how every single episode, almost every single episode, was almost like a teaching moment for the ninja. And now we basically have that teaching moment again for not only Lloyd, but the new characters, which is something that I liked, and that might be part of the reason why I really enjoyed the first part of the show, even though I did say and was a hard critic towards it that it wasn't that good. And I would say the same part about part 2. So what we basically have here, and I'm going to get into it, and oh boy, it's going to make me sound ridiculous actually. But, so, we start out with the ninja, and they're trying to fight the dragon hunters, and the dragon hunters have this new technology. This new technology creates physical light creatures, and they actually create this wolf thing that's they want to use to hunt down the other dragons. This gigantic wolf creature. And Sora, hey, I actually remembered her name for once. Sora actually, she actually knows what these devices are and how they work. Why? And I really like this. Fact is, she actually is the one that made the technology. Now, the only problem that I kind of have with the technology is the fact that, one, physical light, okay, that actually sounds really cool, like a physical hologram. Okay, that sounds really cool, I'm not gonna lie. But just the phrase physical light, I really wish they didn't kind of do that phrase. I wish they would call it a physical hologram, because that's basically what it is. And physical hologram sounds a lot better than the word physical light. Not to mention another small issue that I have with it, and it's not even, it's more of a nitpick, but I have to admit this, I do not really like the designs of the wolf creatures. That is just me though, like, maybe I'm wrong, maybe a lot of people love the designs of the wolf creatures, but I think they kind of look weird. That's just me. But that is, of course, just me, right? Now, moving on. So what she wants to do, what the whole story ends up becoming, is that because Sora knows of this technology and how it works, she wants to go back to her home, Imperium, which I'm so glad we're learning more about the world of Imperium, because that was part of the stuff that actually made the show interesting, and now we're diving into that. So basically, she wants to go back home and undo this technology so that they wouldn't be able to use it. And then we get to learn about her backstory. This is the part of the show that I absolutely enjoyed. I absolutely enjoyed learning more about Sora's backstory. And it's really funny because when I was watching the trailers of this show, right, and I still kind of feel like this, right? I didn't feel like Sora was the main character of the show. I thought it was Ninja Wanna Boy. I thought it was Ninja Wannabe Boy. But it actually turned out to be Sora, which I don't have a problem with, but I'm still interested in seeing what Ninja Wannabe's story is going to end up being. And I know his name, I actually do know his name, but I really just like calling him Ninja Wannabe Boy, because that's literally one of the lines in the show itself is Ninja Wannabe. That's another thing. Like, I am not that big of a critic when it comes to dialogue and stuff like that, but man, I gotta say, some of this dialogue is kind of cringy, but then again, I have to admit this, Ninjago has always been kind of cringy, so if I really have a problem with the cringy dialogue in the show, then I feel like a hypocrite, because Ninjago has always had kind of cringy dialogue, and I've never really had a problem before, so it's another one of those things where, yeah, the dialogue to me, can kind of be sometimes cringe, but I'm not hating it. Like, that's the thing, I just don't hate the show. That's the funny thing. As much as I want to critique it and almost talk bad about it, I want to make that clear. I ended up actually, overall, liking Ninjago Dragons Rising, at least to the point where I'm willing to give it a chance. A lot more than I thought, but yeah, let's get back into the actual story. Her backstory was the best part of the show itself, right? Sora, her backstory is that she grew up in this world where everyone just praised their leader, and she was kind of like, yeah, you know what, I don't know about that. I don't really want to be a follower, I want to be a leader myself. Or not a leader herself, but, you know, she's not really following the crowd. All she wants to do is create technology. She's really brilliant, she's great with working technology, and she invents the physical light, I'm gonna call it physical hologram, because that just sounds so much better. She creates the physical hologram technology, and she makes this technology because she wants to help out her people, right? So they eventually give her the science fair award, and for her big reward she gets to go see her hero, which is this scientist. And she finds out when she visits the scientist laboratory that what she learned in school, what she thought in school, was not true. Dragons aren't these just crazy wild beasts. just to steal energy from. They have feelings. They actually are animals, you know, and it's got that whole animal cruelty vibe is bad thing, which I actually like it. So she decides that she actually wants to free this little, not even little, it's actually a big dragon, but she wants to free this dragon. She doesn't like to see these dragons get hurt, and when she finds out that, yeah, that's what they are doing, that's what the Imperium whole company is doing, just stealing powers away from these dragons and hurting them in the process, she doesn't want to be a part of that. And she doesn't want her technology being a part of that either. But the doctor says they're just wild beasts and she doesn't care. And she decides to turn her technology into a weapon for the Imperium. I really liked her whole backstory. It was really interesting. And then the rest of the show happens, right? And honestly, I liked it. I kind of wish that the action was a little better, in my opinion, because Ninjago usually has some really great fighting scenes, and I feel like in this one it really wasn't that good. But yeah, they sneak back into Imperium, trying to take out this technology. It turns out that she has a whole bunch of these built, but the doctor can't make them work or the scientist can't make them work because she's the only one with the know-how to make them turn on. So eventually the doctor says, or the scientist says, hey, if you don't turn these on, I'm going to hurt your favorite little dragon here. And that's when Sora turns them on, and it turns into a huge mess. And I really liked how everybody was questioning whether or not Sora was really on their side or not, because she turned on these monstrous creatures that can't be hurt or destroyed. That's kind of the thing. The fact that they are absolutely indestructible and can't be hurt or destroyed, like, it makes sense, but at the same time I'm thinking, yeah, that kind of writes you into a corner, doesn't it? Like, how are you going to take these out? And it turns out that she actually put in a secret turn-off switch, basically, and the only way she can turn it off is by using her powers, and the only way she can use her powers is, of course, with the little dragon. Now, of course, when it comes to the little dragon, my favorite character of the show, which honestly gets really no screen time at all, Wannabe Ninja Boy, actually loses the dragon to a couple of kids who are all about the Imperium life, who want to actually be part of the Imperium claw and be evil and all that. This whole part of the storyline, I understand why it works. I'm just sitting here, I'm like, okay, can we move on? Can we move on? Like, I'm not hating it. I'm like, can we just move on to winning the day? And then they do something really weird, and this is the thing where I'm like, I really wished, as much as I really like Kai and Nia, I really wished they didn't bring him back in the show. Not at this point yet. I want to focus more on the two main characters and Lloyd. But every time Kai and Nia shows up, they steal the show away from Kai and the two new characters. And I'm kind of like, I don't want to see that. They actually end up finding a magic portal. Well, I mean, let me go back. Nia, remember, Nia is in that Cloud City, and she finds a magic portal, and then Kai's at home, right? Kai finds a magic portal at his temple, and they end up entering into another space where Wu's ghost apparently guides them to a piece of weird technology. and they turn the technology off, and guess who just shows up out of nowhere? Zane! Because it's Zane! Because we need Zane! And Zane's like, yeah, you know what? This is somehow another temple with magical portals, so let's turn it on so we can save all the dragons. And they go and fight along with Kai and the rest of them, and it's kind of like, well, now we have Zane. Now we have 3 ninja taking away from the main 3 characters, right? And I kind of don't like that. And then we have, so apparently the portal is not powerful enough to actually get all the dragons home, right? So what they have to do is Lloyd has to go in and find this power source, Lloyd and Zane, but really just Lloyd, right? And they end up finding the power source that the Imperium have, and it's this big, gigantic dragon that's called a Source Dragon. I can't believe I just remembered the name, because, oh my god, I forgot the name of that dragon for the longest time. Source Dragon. And Source Dragon's like, if you break me out, the world is going to be destroyed. But you know what? You're part dragon and you're a good guy. I'll give you some of my powers. So he gives Lloyd some of his powers, and Lloyd is able to open up the portal and get everyone home. He also sees a really strange, he sees a strange vision of the apocalypse, apparently? Okay. The problem here is, I like Lloyd. Okay, I really do, and I want Lloyd to be the master and the teacher to the 2 new students, right? But there's a part of me that's like, okay, Lloyd, you gotta step back. You gotta step back and you gotta let these characters grow, right? And I really feel like in this, well, Lloyd's the main character again. Like, we literally forgot about Sora and the other kid, the Ninja Wannabe Lloyd. We literally just forget about them and focus on Lloyd again. And it's kind of like, well, I don't want to do that. I want to get back to their story. But okay, that's what we have. And now we have Zane a part of the team back too. It's like, my god, and I didn't even mention the new Dragon Girl. Yeah, there's a new Dragon Girl, so another new character to train, who will probably get no proper character screen time or development, because we're all paying more attention to Zane, Kai, and everyone else. Like, I want more story with the new characters and less with the old. That's just me, right? It's because we've already seen the old characters' stories told and fleshed out so much that I just want to get to the new characters. That's basically what I want. I'm still glad that, you know, we still need at least one of the old main characters around here, right? And I'm still glad that Lloyd is part of it. I really feel like Lloyd being the teacher of this new line of ninja could be fantastic and have great chances of storytelling and lessons to be learned, just like from the original Ninjago show, the original 10 seasons of Ninjago. I feel like we could really dive into that, but they just haven't yet. And I hope they will soon. With that said, yeah, that's all I'm going to talk about, because the villains are really, they're nothing. They're nothing in the show. They're ridiculous. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of Ninjago Dragons Rising? What would I give these 5 episodes? I give episode 6 a 7, episode 8 a 7. I would just give them all 7 out of 10s. Yeah, so the whole show basically was between a 6 and a 7 for me. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of the show so far? Like, I don't hate it, but it's definitely not the best I've seen on Ninjago. And yet, somehow, it hasn't been the worst. Thank you guys for watching, and let me know down in the comments below your thoughts, and I am out. Bye.
Subscribe to Dylan's Little Hobbies right now.